Welcome to the Astro Forecast for the week of August 26th through to September 1st. We are coming up on September already. I was looking at the date and I'm like, what is happening to time? We have a big week of energy shifting. So we have on Monday, August 26th, the moon is in its third quarter phase in Gemini. So this is a time of winding down. What are we trying to take with us into the next new moon, which is happening next week? And what are we thinking about? Gemini is a very cerebral sign. So we're thinking about things, we're wanting to be in contemplation about what we're trying to release from our lives during this phase of the moon. So on Tuesday, August 27th, we have Venus trine to Uranus. This is a wonderful aspect for loving relationships, having fun experiences, enjoying life. This is bringing unexpected yet positive changes to love and finance. This aspect encourages you to embrace new and unconventional approaches to relationships and money management. This is a time to break free from the routine and explore fresh perspectives. So, if you've been going through it with money, or with relationships, this is a way to sort of think outside the box. What is some ways that you can bring more stability or kind of shake up the way you've been thinking about things? Maybe you want to start to allocate money and give everything a job, or open up some other accounts and you're starting to bank money for different things for your budgets. But like, what's a way that you can do things differently? Because if it's not working now, trying to continue on with what are you doing now isn't going to get you to where you need to go, right? On Wednesday, August 28th, Mercury finally goes direct. This has been a rough Mercury retrograde for me personally, being in Virgo, my own sign, and then going back into Leo. The energy and the creativity has just been sparking for me. And there's not enough time in the day. Like, you can sort of see I have little bags under my eyes. I'm tired. I have been working late nights. I have like all these energy coming in for creative ideas. I'm launching a new product. I'm having something else coming out. Like, it's been a lot. And Mercury direct, now, just because Mercury goes direct today doesn't mean it all is well. It's still going to be in shadow until about September 13th. So right now, on this date, on Wednesday, August 28th, it is the time when it is most potent. You think about the pendulum as it's about to come back down again. So if it's like mathematically as it's changing direction, it is at a time of standstill. And that is what Mercury is at this moment in time. It's going to be sort of at a standstill. So it is the most potent. So you want to make sure that when you're on August 28th, if you're traveling, if you're going on vacation, coming back from vacation, being really cautious, being extra patient, taking only carry on if you can, making sure that you have all your documents printed, not just on your phone, because electronics can go haywire. There can be communication issues on this day. So it's meant to bring clarity in the coming days, just not on this day. Okay. It's going to still feel very confusing. So, but when Mercury starts to gain momentum in forward motion, mathematically relative to the Earth, it's speeding up in its trajectory around the sun. It is now going to bring more clarity and forward momentum in communication and planning. This is a time to move forward, not today. Not today. I would say starting in September, move forward on projects and ideas that have faced delays during the retrograde period. Clear any misunderstandings and proceed with confidence. We will still be in retrograde over some degrees until about September 13th. The same degrees that it went over during its retrograde period from August 5th to the 28th. So you're going to be seeing things in a new way. Revisions are going to be made in the coming weeks, and things are going to be even better than they would have been had we not had a retrograde. So it's by divine design, right? What did you learn? You might want to ask yourself, from August 5th to now, what did you learn? What have you seen in a different light? And then also on Wednesday, August 28th, we have Venus opposite to Neptune. This can feel very confusing. This is not a time to cut your bangs. It's not a time to get a tattoo. It's not a time to make big investment changes or invest in anything big. And it's not a time to make a definitive decision around relationships. Okay, that you're just not going to see things properly. It kind of feels like a Mercury retrograde, but with regards to Venus things. Venus things are money, relationships, beauty, aesthetics, right? So things that we value, we're just not going to be able to see it properly, or we might jump to conclusions about it, or we're not hearing proper information. So this is a time when there can be more swindling happening. So really just being very mindful of who you're giving your money to, what you're believing in, and what you want. What are you wanting, right, for yourself? This can also be a wonderful time to bring up healing around ways that you spend your time, energy, money, things that you value that are trying to heal a part of you, but it's not actually. So an example of this is binge eating. Another example of this is overspending, right? Spending, buying things that feel like they're going to make you feel good about yourself, but they don't when they come in. Pornography, anytime, drugs addiction. There's marijuana is legal everywhere, but if you're smoking 4 or 5 times a day and you're not actually staying coherent or cognitively aware and being present in your body and your emotions, that is a form of escapism. So this can be escapist actions coming up for you to see them for what they are. So this can bring a confusion and unrealistic expectations. It's essential to stay grounded and clear in your interactions and avoid making major decisions based on idealized perceptions. This is not a time to make big moves with your money, investments, personal beauty. Don't cut banks today, and or relationships. I would actually say don't cut bangs this week if you wanted to. If you want to, go ahead, but I'm going to say wait till a little bit in September. I mean, bangs can wait, right? If you want to, whatever, you could do whatever you want, but I'm just going to say during this time, things just don't quite feel like you're seeing it accurately, right? Thursday, August 29th, Venus moves into Libra. This is a home sign for Venus. It loves to be in Libra. Libra is about balance, relationships, what's yours and what's mine, and who am I when I'm in a relationship. So this is a really caring sign for it to be in. And this is an emphasis on beauty, on balance, on cooperation in relationships. This is great for diplomacy, for mediation, for charm, and focus on partnerships. It's an excellent time to resolve conflicts. I would say not on this day because Mercury went direct. I would wait a few days. Strengthen bonds and appreciate beauty in your surroundings. So there's a lot of noticing around you, noticing the beauty of things. Be careful of people-pleasing tendencies, because with Libra, we are wanting to be in a relationship, and sometimes that can mean sacrificing what we desire so that other people are happy. And so you want to really guard against that, right? This is a very loving placement for Venus to be in. And where do you seek out love, or where do you feel worthy of love? Like, do you have to qualify for that? Libra, that energy might bring that up for you to heal it. And then also on this day is Venus trine to Pluto, because Pluto is at the very first degree of Aquarius and about to go into Capricorn on Sunday. So it is a very intense placement for both of them because they're at their 0 degree mark, literally just entered Libra and at the first degree of Aquarius. So this is a intensifying relationships and deepening emotional connections. Now, this can feel like you found your soulmate, you just met somebody, and there's love bombing going on, and it's really deep and passionate and intensive. And because you can't see things properly, this feels like it's love, and it might not be. Actually, I'm going to say just really give it space and time. If you meet somebody during this time, or a relationship starts to blossom over this week, take it slow. Really take it slow and allow what's reality to come to light and see things as they unfold, right? You might not be seeing it. Today might be rose-colored glasses and everything feels intense and lovely, emotional depth and meaningful interactions. And oh my God, it's my soulmate. And then you're like, whoa, a week from now, you're like, what happened, right? It's the energy is just not helping you see things as they are. Right. And then on Sunday, September 1st, which is a big day in my company, we are going to be doing something very big that's going to come out, and the astro forecasts are going to change as of next week. So I'll talk about that at the end. So stay tuned. So on Sunday, September 1st, Uranus goes retrograde, sorry, in Taurus. So Uranus is a very slower moving planet. It's been on the same degrees for a few days, but retrograde means it's going slower than the Earth. So planets speed up and slow down in their trajectory around the sun. They don't go backwards. Okay, that's not a thing. But relative to the Earth, if it slows down and we're going faster than it, then it will look like it's going backwards in our sky, right? So it's like a car, a moving car. If you're kind of going faster than a car beside you, it might look like the car is actually going backwards because you are going faster than it. So it's the same thing with the planets in the sky. They are going slower than the Earth and we are going faster than it. So it looks like it's going backwards in our sky. So mathematically, relative to the Earth, it is going backwards. That's what retrogrades are. And when a planet goes retrograde, it means that it's inward now. So when Mercury goes retrograde, the mind, thought processing, coordination, travel, all the ways that we connect with people are now inverted, right? We are more to be reviewing, reassessing, realigning, not moving forward, but more so understanding where do we want to go? What do we want to do? Your coordination slows down. You're not as coordinated, right? So there can be more mistakes. There can be more accidents. There's travel delays. You're not meant to be moving fast in the world. So what Uranus is all about individuality, your effervescence, your creative spark. It's the higher octave of Mercury. So it's genius energy. It's also innovation. It is technology. It is amplifying and elevating concepts that have come before it, right? The higher octave of Mercury. So when Uranus goes retrograde, it's a time now where there is a deep reflection, and it's in Taurus. So it's a deep reflection on our relationship and stability and security and material possessions. Expect surprising insights and shifts in areas related to finance, values, and the physical world itself. And the physical world, Taurus, rules banking, rules resources, Mother Nature, the earth, right? So Uranus also rules like earthquakes and natural disasters. So when Uranus is going to change direction, there can sometimes be mathematically relative to the earth, there can be sometimes this potent energy, right? Just like we said with Mercury changing direction, it's like this, it's a very potent, concentrated energy. So we can see more things in the earth, in the world, like volcanic eruptions, earthquakes. There's been a number of earthquakes recently around the world, especially one notably in Japan that did have a bit of a tsunami warning attached to it, but it was not very tall, but still tall, high. So there could be more with that. They have predicted that there will be more earthquakes there, but it is in the Ring of Fire, which is all the volcanoes in that part of the world. And then to kind of add a little bit more spice to this day, we're going to have Pluto retrograding now from Aquarius into Capricorn. And it's really interesting. It's going to stay here just for a couple months, the last foray into Capricorn for another 230 years. And this part of going back into Capricorn, so interesting because Capricorn is about structure, policy, procedure, patriarchy, government, structure, the way things are kind of responsible, like how we are responsible and we hold space for everybody. And Capricorn is also about mastery, right? So how we live our purpose and passion into the world as we are an authority figure, as we take power in the world, where are we seen as an authority in our lives? So Pluto coming back through this part now, which is the 29th degree, it's considered an anaretic or a critical degree. Interesting that the US elections are happening during this time too. Like of all the times it could have an election, it's happening during the time that Pluto is coming back through this time. And it's kind of bringing up all the ways that we have Pluto is death, rebirth, and transformation. So it's going to bring up for us what needs to die, like what final remnants of the patriarchy are coming up for us to see it, to transform it. And there can be, structures that need to fall and institutions that need to fall because we are rebuilding now. Aquarius is about the new era. It is technology. It is one love. It's coming together to make sure everyone is rising, not just the wealthy, right? So there's going to be systems that are holding things in place that need to kind of be brought down. So it'll be really interesting to notice what happens. I mean, you can make an argument either way. If Trump gets elected or Kamala Harris gets elected, either way is going to bring something to light that needs to be healed and fixed in the world, in terms of where we are not really honoring all of us coming up together, right? So we can make an argument both ways. Like, it can highlight it with Trump in ways that, he's very against the grain. He's not doing things like anyone else. He is a very unlikely candidate. And he does flush out a lot of things that have been in the shadows. So I think that is the purpose that he's been in power. And then Kamala Harris is an example of like a whole different way to do things. I mean, very Aquarian, right? Like a woman of color in the presidency. That's never happened before. Like, that would be really breaking up the patriarchy too. Like, so you could really argue on both of those. And what will happen, we will see. It was interesting because the last time when Trump was going up against, I think it was Hillary Clinton, I was at an astrology conference, and they had panel after panel after panel of astrologers that were kind of talking about what they thought the outcome was based on the astrology. So we got the astrology of Trump, we had the astrology of Clinton, we had the astrology of the United States, and we were looking at the astrology at the time even, and just kind of seeing what we could see in the astrology, right? And of course, looking backwards, you can connect the dots, but there was only one astrologer on all of these panels. I think there was 3 panels, 2 or 3 panels of multiple astrologers, at least like 5 to 7 panel people on each one, and only one astrologer predicted that Trump would win. And I remember thinking in the audience, like, how biased I felt, right? Like, I knew my bias. I knew who I thought would win based on what I thought was kind of right, or what we've always seen, and then Trump won. And I was like, wow, like, that's crazy pants, right? Like, why wasn't astrology able to predict that? And the biggest consensus that we talked about after that in the astrology community is that our bias can shape the way we see things, right? Astrology isn't completely neutral. Like, every astrological aspect has ways in which it can present into the world, right? The way that it can, the word I'm looking for is not coming to my tongue right now because Mercury is still retrograde as I'm videoing this. But what I'll say is the way that we present our charts, we have free will in them, right? We have soul qualities. And so even twins can be more like very close, can have the same charts, but will have completely different soul expressions of their chart. Expression, that's the word I was looking for. Express their charts, express their traits in a different way. So when you're looking at a chart, or you're looking at the astrology or the forecast, right? There is a bias. Like, I understand all of this, the language of astrology, but I am also tapping into, as a psychic, the energy of what is coming in for the week. So I do have a flavor that I'm adding to it. And it's so interesting because as I tap into the elections to come, I keep seeing that there's free will. There's a choice. There's choice for voters to come out and vote. There's choice for campaigns to change. There's choice for marketing to change. Like, there's a lot of choice here, and nothing is set in stone. There's lots. I keep seeing lots of pathways to the end. Whatever it is, but I know all paths lead to the same outcome. So whatever is meant to happen from this election, whatever's going to come from it, the next election is already kind of in stone. Like, this is just one of the stepping stones to get there. So, is it going to be now if we have, a woman president? Not we, because I'm not Canadian, but I love politics because it's really interesting to see the astrology play out in that way, right? And so the astrology is one where there is a paradigm shift happening, but you can make the argument that it would shift both ways, right? So we'll see what happens. I'll be watching in anticipation just like you. And, as much as I'm an intuitive, I mean, I know that the US is going through a major, Pluto return, which is a big transformation and shift, and I think we know both both candidates bring that up. So it's going to be interesting at the very least. And finally, I want to share on my heart. I just want to thank you so much for being here. My audience has steadily grown as I have done these for the last 3 years. We've been doing the Astro Forecast weekly, have not missed one. Thank you to my Virgo nature for making sure we never miss one, even if I'm on a holiday. And I also have an amazing team that helps me put this together. So I couldn't do this without them. And we are now transitioning this to a different platform. So it still will be on YouTube, but it's also going to be on a podcast. So I'm so excited. I'm going to share the links with you on our next newsletter. So this will be the last one that I'm doing in this format on Vimeo, and it's just going to be a different format because I have to record it in a different software to be uploaded, and I won't be able to upload the full link as you get it now on Facebook. You'll have to go to either YouTube or podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, to listen to it. So you can listen to it or you can watch it, but the video won't be like a Zoom video like you're seeing here now. It's going to be on YouTube, so I'll have to share that. And sometimes Facebook doesn't like YouTube, so we're going to see how we can sort of move around that. Maybe I can download it into another format and then upload it to Facebook, because it's only going to really affect Facebook. Instagram, I'll be able to direct. No, it's actually going to affect Instagram too, because I normally upload it as an IGTV. So we'll see how it goes. We're still working out how the technology of it goes, but at the very least, I'll send you links to where you can watch it. And if you want to continue to watch with me, please do it. If you get the newsletter, you're going to get the link to where to watch it on there, because it's YouTube on my newsletter. So that's not going to change. And if you're watching this on social media, you are welcome to join me on the newsletter. You get access to the actual notes of the week ahead. So I get a little blurb for each day, the Astro Forecast, and then the video link to watch this. And then also anything new that I'm offering, and also my interpretation of the forecast, kind of like 3-4 lines as to what to expect for the week ahead. So if you want to join me on my newsletter, please do so. I never spam you. You have options to unsubscribe, or if I have a campaign going on for something in my world, like Intuition 101 is right now open for registration. And I'm also doing a 5-day challenge to get unstuck in your life. So if you're interested in joining those things, you can. There's links usually on the newsletter to do so. And if you don't want to, it's fine. You know what? I always know that the right people find me at the right and perfect time. So thank you for being here. I appreciate you. September is bringing some new things. I'm so excited to share with you and bring you on the journey with me. You are my ride or dies, and I appreciate all your support. So wishing you a wonderful week ahead, and I'll see you next week.